Another day, another story. The Yamato Dynasty, traditionally considered the first historically verifiable dynasty in Japan, played a crucial role in the early formation of the Japanese state. Here are some key aspects and highlights of the Yamato period. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. Origins and rise to power. Founding and early expansion. The Yamato clan emerged around the 3rd century AD, establishing its power base in the Yamato region, modern-day Nara Prefecture. They gradually extended their control over other clans through military conquest and alliances. Legendary beginnings. According to Japanese mythology, the Yamato rulers claimed descent from the sun goddess Amaterasu, which provided a divine justification for their rule. Political and social developments. Centralization of power. The Yamato rulers began to centralize political power, laying the groundwork for a more unified state. This period saw the formation of the Japanese imperial lineage, which continues to this day. Administrative reforms. Influenced by Chinese models, the Yamato court adopted various administrative practices, including the implementation of the Ritsuryo system, a set of legal and administrative codes aimed at consolidating the central authority. Cultural and religious influences. Introduction of Buddhism. Buddhism was introduced to Japan from Korea in the mid-6th century and was officially adopted by the Yamato court. This led to significant cultural and religious changes, including the construction of temples and the spread of Buddhist teachings. Chinese influences. The Yamato court engaged in diplomatic missions to China, adopting elements of Chinese culture, including writing systems, Confucianism, and governmental structures. Mythological foundations. Emperor Jima. According to Japanese mythology, the Yamato dynasty traces its origins to Emperor Jima, the first emperor of Japan and a direct descendant of the sun goddess Amaterasu. He is said to have established his reign in 660 BC, although these dates are legendary rather than historical. Amaterasu and the imperial regalia. The divine connection of the Yamato rulers to Amaterasu was symbolized by the imperial regalia. The mirror, Yada no Kagami, the sword, Kusanagi no Tsurugi, and the jewel, Yasukani no Magatama. These items are believed to confer legitimacy and divine authority to the emperor. Expansion and consolidation. Military campaigns and alliances. Subjugation of rivals. The Yamato clan expanded its influence through a combination of military conquest and strategic marriages. They subdued rival clans and forged alliances, gradually consolidating their power over the Japanese archipelago. Kofun burials. The construction of kofun, large burial mounds, served both as a display of power and a means to legitimize their rule. These mounds, often surrounded by moats and containing rich grave goods, symbolized the Yamato rulers' authority and divine ancestry. Cultural and religious integration. Adoption of Buddhism. Introduction from Korea. Buddhism was introduced to Japan in the mid-6th century through diplomatic exchanges with the Korean kingdom of Baekje. Initially met with resistance, it was eventually embraced by the Yamato court. Temple construction. The Yamato rulers constructed significant Buddhist temples, such as Asuka-dera and Hōryū-ji, which became centers of learning and cultural development. These temples helped disseminate Buddhist teachings and practices throughout Japan. Political and administrative reforms. Prince Shotoku's reforms. 17-article constitution. Prince Shotoku, regent under Empress Suiko, issued the 17-article constitution in 604 AD. This set of moral guidelines and political principles emphasized harmony, centralized authority, and the importance of Buddhism and Confucian ethics. Envoys to China. Shotoku sent several envoys to the Sui dynasty in China to learn from their advanced administrative practices, culture, and technology. These missions brought back valuable knowledge that influenced Japanese governance and culture. Diplomatic relations and cultural exchange. Influence of China and Korea. Learning from China. The Yamato court actively sought knowledge from China, adopting elements of Chinese writing, art, and statecraft. The introduction of the Chinese writing system allowed for the recording of historical and administrative documents, significantly advancing Japanese literacy and bureaucracy. Korean contributions. Skilled artisans and scholars from the Korean kingdoms, particularly Baekje and Silla, contributed to the cultural and technological development of the Yamato state. They brought expertise in areas such as metallurgy, ceramics, and temple architecture. Significant rulers and their impact. Emperor Kinmei, 539-571 AD. Buddhism's formal introduction. Emperor Kinmei's reign marked the formal introduction of Buddhism to Japan. He received a statue of Buddha and Buddhist scriptures from the Korean king of Baekje, which initiated the spread of Buddhism in the Japanese court. Cultural syncretism. During his reign, efforts were made to harmonize Buddhism with the existing Shinto beliefs, creating a syncretic religious culture that would characterize Japanese spirituality for centuries. Empress Suiko, 554-628 AD. First female empress. Empress Suiko's reign is notable for being the first time a woman ruled Japan as empress regnant. Her rule was marked by the consolidation of Buddhist influence and significant administrative reforms. Prince Shotoku's regency. As regent, Prince Shotoku implemented numerous reforms and policies that strengthened the central government and promoted Buddhism. His efforts laid the foundation for the cultural and political development of Japan. Kofun Society. Haniwa horse statuette, complete with saddle and stirrups, 6th century. The Kofun period was a critical stage in Japan's evolution toward a more cohesive and recognized state. This society was most developed in the Kansai region and the easternmost part of the Inland Sea. Japan's rulers of the time even petitioned the Chinese court for confirmation of royal titles. The Yamato polity, which emerged by the late 5th century, was distinguished by powerful great clans or extended families, including their dependents. Each clan was headed by a patriarch who performed sacred rites to the clan's kami to ensure the long-term welfare of the clan. Legacy and transition. The end of the Yamato period. Moved to Heijo-kyo, Nara, in 710 AD, the capital was moved to Heijo-kyo, modern Nara, marking the end of the Yamato period and the beginning of the Nara period. This move symbolized the maturation of the centralized state and the increased influence of Chinese culture. Completion of historical chronicles. During the Nara period, significant historical chronicles such as the Kojiki, 712 AD, and Nihon Shoki, 720 AD, were compiled. These works documented the mythological and historical origins of Japan, solidifying the legacy of the Yamato rulers. Cultural and political foundations. Imperial institution. The Yamato period established the imperial institution, which became a central and enduring feature of Japanese political and cultural identity. The divine descent of the Yamato rulers provided a foundation for the emperor's role as both a political and spiritual leader. Buddhist influence. The introduction and spread of Buddhism during the Yamato period had a profound and lasting impact on Japanese culture, influencing art, architecture, philosophy, and daily life. The Yamato Dynasty's story is a rich tapestry of myth, legend, and historical transformation. It laid the foundations for the Japanese state, integrating diverse cultural influences and setting the stage for the flourishing of Japanese civilization in subsequent periods. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.